Chapter 10. Practice, Practice, Practice. Repetition is the mother of knowledge, people say. Life itself is one long practice session. Everything in life worth achieving requires practice. When we talk about practice, people tend to associate it with practicing a sport or on a musical instrument. There are more things in life that require practice, like developing patience, improving communication skills, and adopting meditation, among others. Stirner argues that one's true goal should be maintaining the practicing process instead of strictly focusing on the outcome. He states that being process oriented and present will pave the path to self discipline, sharp focus, patience, and self awareness. When my mom married my dad, she quickly found that she had some big shoes to fill. My dad was a big fan of his mother's cooking. My mom told me stories of how she would try to recreate my dad's favorite home cooked meals to show her new husband that she too could be a good cook. This seems like a simple problem to solve, right? My mom went to my grandma to ask if she could have some of her recipes, especially her famous oyster dressing recipe she makes every Thanksgiving. The problem is, my grandma didn't believe it was important to write down recipes. She just cooked by feel. My mom told me of how she followed my grandma around the kitchen, watching her and writing down her every word. This was once again more complicated than you might expect, as my grandma didn't measure her ingredients and often said to add a pinch of this or that. My mom spent many Thanksgivings trying to get the recipe just right. Finally, after much practice, she had perfected it, much to the joy of both her and my dad. My family makes this recipe for oyster dressing every year, and it serves as a testament to the cooking skills of both my grandma and my mom, as well as my mom's perseverance. Don't make the mistake of thinking that only artistic aspirations or work related things require practice. Everything we wish to learn and improve in our lives require practice. Raising a child, learning to budget, to plan the perfect trip. This sounds overwhelming, right? It seems that all of our 24 hours are a practice session. Yes and no. There is a trick in this equation. This trick is called priorities. Choose your preferred goals where you want to experience great rewards for your great efforts. Then roll your sleeves up and steadily start working towards these goals. The difference between practice and learning. Many of us associate the concept of practicing with the concept of learning. They may seem similar, but Thomas Turner, author of the book Practicing Mind, explains that practice and learning are not the same. The word practice implies the presence of awareness and will. The word learning does not. Practicing something requires intention. We repeat something deliberately to reach a goal. Through repetition, knowledge sinks in. Thus, practice involves learning. But learning does not involve practice necessarily. When you choose to practice something by choice, you are in the present moment. You are inside the moment. Arnold described his weight trainings in his book Total Recall as being a form of meditation. He said when he trained a muscle group, he was mentally inside the muscle, feeling it, observing it, talking to it, telling it to grow. He was focused. He was present, he was practicing and learning. He was not judging himself, he was simply executing an activity. Observed the results and adjusted himself for better future practices to reach his goal. While the outcome shouldn't be your sole objective, you can use it as a motivator to improve your practice. Avoid using your goal as an indicator of success or a measure of self worth. Just focus on mastering yourself by practicing, doing the best you can right now. When you are focused and productive, you will have peace of mind at night, even if you didn't reach your goal but did all you could for the day. When you are unfocused and procrastinating, even if you finish what you want for the day, you'll feel that something is missing. That something is missing out on being your best self. The disciplined mind rejects instant gratification. Why do we procrastinate if we know and feel sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously that it is bad for us? Because in the heat of the moment, the pain of doing what we should seems greater than doing nothing. In other words, we choose instant gratification. a short term satisfaction that never has lasting value. With practice and awareness, you can learn to ditch the seduction of short lived pleasures. After all, how many things can you recall in your life that you reached with little or no effort and made a great impact on you? Now try to recall things for which you worked diligently and patiently over a longer period of time. Was it easier? Are these hard things more valuable to you? Whenever you achieve something through effort and hardship, you experience a joy and satisfaction that easy and quick nuggets can never give. For example, when I was a young child, I could have easily abandoned my studies to enjoy the instant gratification of playing with my friends or playing a video game. But a high value was always placed on education in my family, so I kept my focus more on my long term goal of doing well in school. Ultimately, my focus earned me a scholarship abroad. I was always certain to complete my school work before I played, and I earned very good grades. It was by postponing instant gratification in favor of delayed gratification that I was able to earn scholarships to pay for my education and pursue my higher dreams for my life. I am forever grateful that my parents instilled those values in me and I learned to make choices like that in my life. A disciplined mind notices when it falls out of the present moment. If you ever practice meditation, you know that its main goal is to help you stay in the present moment as much as possible. Thoughts will invade your practice, and that's fine. The goal of meditation is not achieving thoughtlessness, but noticing the thoughts and then returning the focus to the present moment, usually to the breathing. If you have practiced meditation for some time, your mind will not only notice thoughts arising during the practice, but also feelings during your day. Whenever you are feeling impatient, angry, rushed, bored, sad, or disappointed with yourself, you will be able to bring your awareness to these feelings. You can also notice that these feelings are not about the present moment. They are usually driven by anxiety for the future or remorse for the past. This means whenever you notice these negative feelings arising, in fact, you left the present moment. Notice where your mind and energy has drifted, where your focus is. Acknowledge the negative feeling. Say, hello, fear, or anxiety, or anger. I can see you. I notice you and let you go. Then gently take a few deep breaths and come back to the present moment. When you are practicing something, it's only worth doing if you are in the here and now. That's when and where the knowledge absorbs. That's how you get the greatest return on your time investment. When you are practicing well, you are not aware you are practicing well. Mastering present moment awareness is a lifelong process. It's not a skill to brag about, though. You don't make the great effort of practicing being in the present to put on your resume. I am a master in staying in the here and now. You do it to enrich your life with inner peace and calmness no other mean could provide. What we practice is going to become habit. Intentionally adopting good habits can free our lives of many displeasures. What do I mean by habit? An activity that comes naturally to us without the need to think about it. It's intuition, it's second nature. While this may be good news for us when we decide to adopt good habits, the following sentences are also true in case of our already existing, maybe bad habits. In order to be able to change our lives and practice into the right direction, first we need to get aware of our bad habits. We need to recognize them and stop doing them once we identify them. Otherwise, the laws of practice will apply to them, and we don't want to enforce bad habits. Secondly, we need to be aware of what we want to achieve. Have a plan of actions which we intentionally repeat to reach our goal. Repeating something intentionally, practicing it over a period of time will create a habit. This knowledge can grant us some comfort, peace of mind. If we stick to the process of practicing, our habit goal will be achieved. We don't need to stress over the results. We just need to repeat whatever action we know will take us to the desired outcome. Once you successfully achieve something by persistent practice, you will get an empirical proof that relentless practice pays off. You get in control of your life. It's all up to you if you choose to invest time and energy in practice. Some weeks will pass and you will become more accomplished in something. You will adopt a new habit. You will conquer a new height. If you choose to do nothing and not practice, those weeks will pass anyway. Don't look for shortcuts. Cheating discipline doesn't work, neither on short nor on long term. There are no hacks you can apply here. As Jim Rohn said, you can't hire someone else to do your push ups for you. Anything in life worth reaching won't give you satisfaction if it comes with little or no effort. Many people miss or reject this point out of fear of discomfort. Others find the pain of work and effort annoying, unwanted. Some pride themselves as being resourceful if they can find the shortest path. Sure, this skill works for traffic jams, finishing a project and such. But when it comes to adoption of good habits or any other self improvement related subjects, shortcuts are self sabotage. People also tend to focus on the outcome, on the final goal, the thing they want to get out of the effort they make. Sadly, the very outcome gives the smallest satisfaction in the entire process. Just think about it. Recall something for which you worked a long time and succeeded. Was the catharsis really the end? Or did you feel more satisfaction after finishing all you needed to do on a random day against all the odds? Weren't you happier when your newly learned skills proved to be useful in an everyday task? Life is really the road, not the destination. Make your desire to fully experience the work, the road. Stay focused and know that you are on the good track. When you practice what you need, no goal will seem too big, too overwhelming. If you learn to find satisfaction in the process, because then, as long as you are in the process, each day will have something satisfactory. Have small chunks of milestones for every day that you can complete with a reasonable amount of focus and effort. Carry on. Slowly but steadily, you can achieve whatever you want. I know that the concept of slow is not valued today. When we talk about self improvement, things like adopting new habits, learning to discipline the mind, things take time. Don't rush yourself. Don't be impatient. Don't create unrealistic expectations for yourself. Be objectively aware of what and how quickly you can do. How to be objectively aware. But distancing yourself from your thoughts, separate yourself from them. Remember the observing mind. The more connected you become with it, the less you will judge yourself. Just quietly observe your thoughts. Don't label them. Don't identify with them. Make a habit of using your observing mind daily. Practice it through meditation. It will help you become more self aware. Sit down, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and whenever a thought or emotion comes into your mind, notice it with gentle compassion, then let it go. Increased self awareness helps you make better decisions regarding what's a reasonable goal to aim for. Having reasonable goals will keep you anxiety free, so you will be able to focus on the process.